Josh joins us on the final word. Good evening, Josh.
Hello guys, how you doing? You alright?
Yeah, very
good, Josh.
very good. Firstly, let's talk about Manu, because me and Pards have been waxing lyrical about him all season. How good is he as a Man United fan? Does he give you a lot of hope for the future?
Well, I think he's a part of the new generation, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's very good.
And
I just think, like, today, that was just a moment of genius from him again. And, I mean, he's a part of the new guard, you know. It's time to let some of that older players go and let some of these new guys flourish.
I was on talkSPORT on Friday on the Sports Bar with Carlton Cole, and he was less than impressed with Marcus Rashford's efforts against Chelsea. There was a video that went viral of his tracking back attempts. They weren't very good. He came off today. What did you make of his performance?
Oh, his performance was absolutely terrible. I think we were playing with 10 men until the 62nd minute. I mean, I was watching him for most of the first half and again at the start of the second half, just to watch what he was doing. He sort of canters round like a horse doing dressage. I mean, you know, his touches were going nowhere. And then, you know, his head was down a lot. And I just kind of feel like I don't understand. I don't want to beat up on the poor boy, but I just kind of feel like, you know, the moment he went off, like, everything clicked, because no one was sending the ball over to him. I mean, if you actually, like, watch what he was doing, he was out there all on his own on the wing. The ball was never coming over to him. He was just trotting up and down. And, I mean, the guy, he wasn't even there. He didn't even show up. I mean, you know, he rolls around in a Rolls Royce, you know, gets paid £300,000 a week delivering a dumper truck, right? And he puts in performances like that. You know, I mean, I think it's time for him to move on now, because he's the new Sancho for me, and I don't want to see him playing for Man United anymore. You know, we need Garnacho down the left. I mean, flipping out, Anthony did a great job. He played really well, I thought. You know, I don't know, like, I just.
Well, I mean, listen.
Go.
Before we get on to Rashford, Garnacho, let me tell you, right, as good as he is, and I really like him as an attacking threat, he looks like your best player offensively. Defensively, he was poor today. His tracking back was as poor as Rashford's. And, you know, when you've got two players who are not tracking back in the sort of detail that you need, then your central midfield players are in big trouble. And Casemiro today, there's a couple of occasions, let me tell you, where he wasn't running back, because he couldn't run back. He was doing so much work. I mean, it was luckily that Fernandes was on his game today. I mean, he ended up as centre-half and got you out of trouble again, didn't he, like he did in the game before. I mean, I thought he was terrific.
Alan, may I say that, you know, I think, you know, 10 players on that pitch gave everything. And, you know, you could see that. Everyone was going for it. I mean, even like Garnacho was going for it. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, if you were saying he wasn't tracking back, I didn't see that. I mean, I was in the Stretford end. I was watching the game, and, you know, I thought he put a performance in as well. Everybody put a performance in. Everyone was working their absolute socks off, except Rashford.
Okay. Well, I mean, I slightly disagree with that, because I think Rashford is a sort of player, and I've had players like him that just switch off mentally, and it's hard to get that out of them. I don't think they intentionally mean to do it. It's just part of their makeup, and they just switch off and they coast a little bit. And he does need to get that out of the game. And I'm sure the coaching staff there, Steve McLaren is there, an old school coach, will be drilling it into him every day. But unfortunately, it's a very difficult trait to get out of. I don't think it's laziness. I think it's like a mental thing.
Yeah. So we're taking your calls on today's huge games as Liverpool drop 2 points in the title race. Chelsea slip up at Sheffield United, and Spurs soar into fourth in the Premier League. 03717 223344 is the number to call, and we'll take your calls next on the Final Word phone in here on talkSPORT.